So we're going to move on now to our third reader, our third poet. And his name is Philip Church. And he currently resides, he's a newcomer to the group, is that fair to say?
Yes.
And he resides in McCoy, Virginia, right out here. But he's lived in North Carolina, Big Stone Gap, Cincinnati, Ohio, as well as Blacksburg. His return to Blacksburg, where his parents reside, there's one of them. Where's your, oh, there, he won't sit with him. Has allowed him to pursue his writing, eclectic, probing, and noteworthy for his use of words, and I'm quoting a friend of mine when I say that. His recited work has received standing ovations and brought others to tears. Author of a book about the legend of Devil John in Wise County, he has recently compiled a chapbook, which is right out there, of his poems. Please pick up a copy. He'll be glad to take just a couple of dollars. How much? $3?
$3.
$3 for it, if you don't care. And if someone can get one for $3. And so, Phil, it's all yours.
I'm gonna need that, but my name is Philip Church, and I just started writing poetry this past August, and it's kind of saved my life, if you want to know the truth. So I'm gonna read you some of my stuff, and also I write songs, and I'll write songs for anybody. If you put my stuff to music, I'll write a song for you, and I'll play this here in a few minutes for you. A young fella, up and coming guy out in Nashville, did one of my songs here. So this first one's called Black Diamonds, and I guess I ought to tell you, see, to me, all these little letters and all, these are like little black diamonds to me. But black diamond is also coal. And, you know, you put it under a lot of pressure, coal turns into diamond. So if you have a diamond drill, you can drill into almost anything. So see if you can kind of pick up what I'm saying here. Once long ago, I had dreams of fortune and fame. I was going to conquer the world and teach it my name. Yes, I was haughty and arrogant to be a winner, but I caused only pain, the worst kind of sinner. Rebellious, disregarding good advice and instruction, the years rolled by me, leaving a wake of destruction. Finally, through unmerited grace, God saved my soul, but in my heart, my words seemed to be black as coal. Longing somehow to help in spite of the way I'd chosen to live, I offered the words like coal in my heart. It's all I had left to give. When I looked within, everything had changed there to find that the coal, pressed by God, now as like diamonds shine. Humbled that a heart like mine could find a treasure within it, longing now only to help others, wondering how to begin it. The Lord had given me no fame or fortune, but allowed this part, given me words strong as diamonds to drill into any hard heart. So I will spend my days offering my words to help others with living. It's much more than I deserve, these black diamonds I've been given. By the way, no applause, just throw money. I've been working with T. Byron Kelly at this workshop here on Fridays, and trying to learn how to be a poet. And so this for those of you who are poets, you'll get this. I call it soul diving. By the way, the titles of my stuff are just kind of weird, so it's called soul diving. From the precipice of present circumstance, release yourself. Throw self-definition into the ethereal, eternal, and unknown. Plunge mind into the spirit, fall into the steep spectral rapture. Exhilarate from the release into the placid, unknown recesses. Intend the destination to that of the human heart at the conclusion. Fall with most sweetest abandon of care or fear or calculus. Now all hastening past you, rushing within, falling, allow. Think not of accolade. Resist the exterior. Descend into yourself. Fall into the eternal embrace of all that is really real for you. Find the truth that is yours alone. Aim for the bottom of your soul. There one touches art. There one finds poetry, one's essence. Release, abandon, let go of all empirical experience, the free fall. Submerge to merge with the what and who you really, really are. From the falling, discover your calling, birth your life's meaning. Stop any stalling, nothing appalling, except the newfound gleaming. And now, I'm going to read from it's my first chapbook, and it can be yours. I fancy myself an Appalachian poet, so this is about the Lord, which I owe quite a bit to Him, and life and my mountains. I was born and raised in the mountains, so. And I haven't really figured out which ones I'm going to read, so I'll throw them through them, the ones I want to put out to you. We'll see how you like them. This is called The Old Mountain Home. And for you poets, what I try to do here is a little midline rhyming. The old mountain home, encroaching forest reclaimed, it's falling down all alone. There's nobody to be blamed. Once it was warmed with a hearth and the fire, where children swarmed with youth's desire, by a mama's love and all the ties that bind, while high above the ridge's spine. Over there in the yard is where the garden was tended. Yes, the chores were hard. It was a home daily mended. Behind the house are two posts where a line was strung. Head looked like a troop of ghosts where the sheets were hung. On the old fence, a split rail, there was a gate that latched. It opened the way to the well where the water was fetched. Out yonder in the field, full with purple clover, is where the kids squealed and played Red Rover. The old spring house there is where food was stored, for victuals cooked with care, and thanks to the Lord. The old porch now laid low, once echoed the ringing of the fiddle and banjo with pawpaw's sweet singing. In these mountains wild, memories of life's simple thrills are the remembrances of a child raised up in these hills. This is a villanelle. So it's got kind of its own odd rhyming scheme and rhythm to it. And it's really my first villanelle. It's called By Night. By night, whispering winds blow through these hills, as sun, defrocked of light, fades neath ridge lines, bearing haunting cries of the whippoorwills. As winter's frost approaches near and kills, autumn's harvest of fields, still flushing vines, by night, whispering winds blow through these hills. It bids the fare thee well to summer's thrills. Behind it leaves only evergreen pines, bearing haunting cries of the whippoorwills. The ringed full moon above shows forth the signs of winter, dark as coal is from the mines. By night, whispering winds blow through these hills. Mountain stock give the back to wind-borne chills, as high above lonesome moonlight still shines, bearing haunting cries of the whippoorwills. The frost gathers upon the window sills as hearts for hearth and fire and dawn just pines. By night, whispering winds blow through these hills, bearing haunting cries of the whippoorwills. This is the second poem I ever wrote, and it's true. This actually kind of happened. So, and I'll be honest, sometimes I get a little choked up when I read this, so if I do, just bear with me. And all my stuff is closed poetry. I try to mix it up with some rhyming schemes and different forms and all, but closed form poetry. This is called My Crown. As an unfaithful Christian, I've been caught in the lurch. I've been so long departed the day I returned to the church. While feeling fresh condemnation because of my sin, we began singing the song, Jesus is Coming Again. The music was lovely, the singing so sweet. It came apart. We cast our crowns at his feet. Suddenly I thought with a new sense of dread, what a wretched crown I've earned that must sit upon my head. I felt the sting of my failings and all that had passed, such an ugly, hard thing at God's feet to cast. I thought, how can I bear such a curse which adorns? Then a sweet reply said, I know the crown you're thinking of. It was made of thorns. Suddenly my eyes filled with tears, my heart lived again. I realized, while God judges our works, He's forgiven our sins. Now, to those of you who were at Barnes & Noble the other night, I apologize, you've already heard this one. My parents are here, so I gotta be careful what I'm saying.
He's never worried about that before.
Our family business was a little illegal at one time, back before I was born, and so it's called Good Moonshine. Our kin's business was moonshine, ain't pulling your leggin'. Now this here's a bit of lore about commencing the bootlegging. First of all, alcohol can be a demon, do you great harm. But it was just a respectable business born on the farm. It was a matter of pride and needing just the right touch, made with ingenuity, grit, and the best fixings and such. Passed from father to son were all the things of necessity, how to mix the mash and cook it with pride in the recipe. To hide the boiler and steel, check the bead, keep scum off it, then how to jug it, then trip it, and bootleg for a nice profit. Now good clean spring water from a cove is the first thing. It's always been well known to find the source of a spring. The higher up the spring's holler is the best way to go. You can hide it all up yonder and no one should know. Hide it or dig it in, or you can run flex pipe from the spring. Just remember, for good shine, sweet water's the main thing. Listen up, here's a good tip that any moonshiner will heed. When an ounce is shaken, less than 100 proof won't lead. To make 100 plus proof whiskey, let attention draw near. Begin the rum with malt, then mash, then distill the beer. Please don't forget to be patient, willing to wait till the hour. Moonshine depends on just how long you let that beer sour. If skull popping moonshine is just what you need, then about 200 proof always holds big IB. Well, if a sweeter taste in your liquor sounds just dandy, add a quarter of fruit to the mash for some good brandy. Mind now, if gas you can't use, though it might make one yawn, start the fire on the boiler so first smoke's unseen before dawn. Here's a well-known fact, the best said the least. Sour your mash with the malt and not any yeast. Most important above all, if for the good shine one made a yearn, at no point during the run let any malt, mash, or anything burn. The recipe should never contain any soapy potash. It is 4 times the sugar to just 1 part of mash. This is the basic formula, taken for all in all. It's nature's way of making that mean alcohol. Finally, if you want a tripper to really haul shine just right, put it in a pickup, black wood on top, and trip it by night. Now, for those wanting to know more, and there isn't said enough, did you really expect for me to tell you how to do all of this stuff?
And it was also before I was born. Yeah. Get me arrested.
Okay, I'll do this one. This was my first attempt at more or less free verse poetry, so it's called Blue Ridge Rain. The storm rolls upon the Blue Ridge with muted profundity of thunder, announcing its progress from some far-off cardinal point wherein it's born. The valleys give clarion calls and winds swept through, whistle upon summits, sounding as nature's locomotive, climbing the ridge, overtopping the prominent apexes, to flow as viscous shreds of overcast inexorably descending toward the forest base. Then the mountain hollers breathe white, misty apparitions from the underworlds, wisping, twirling, rising toward the tangle with bedimmed shrouds of nimbus, crowned upon the peaks and spines of the highland paths to heaven. There the firmament of sky oppresses, heavy, dreary, and gray, hovering above the creatures shivered with frigid dew, sheltering below the storm. Soft, gentle, quiet, suspended in dank solace throughout the woodlands, calls rest to nestled nature, waiting in belly-warmed furrows withal. Waiting, waiting, waiting for the sun's warm break or night's cool umbra. So I told you I also write songs. Find it here. Well, I can't, I'll tell you what, I'll do a sonnet for you. This is one of my sonnets, and this is dedicated to my grandfather. And it's called My Pawpaw. My pawpaw's gone, but I remember well, born in the hills, chock full of mountain pride. One man alone, he really went through hell, followed his will, kept his kin by his side. Raised on the farm, then forced into the mine, always worked long from dawn until the night, kept all from harm and stood tall like a pine. Pawpaw was strong, never shrank from the fight. Some fell aside and their lives hit the skids. He kept going through weather, war, and strife. He held his stride and worked hard for his kids. There's no knowing of a better lived life. I have no longer his strengthening touch. He made me stronger, and I miss him so much. Okay, now tell the song. What we're doing, we'll read this. It's not the same song. I'm going to read a song that I've written, then I'm going to play a song that I've written. This is called Little Pictures, and I guess I'll tell you, half the people I talk to get this and half of them don't. But if you ever heard parents cussing around children and the one parent turns to the other and says, little pictures have big ears, well, that's what they're saying. And this is dedicated to my grandchildren. It's called Little Pictures. We fill our lives with little pictures, little forget-me-nots, memories of love captured, collected with snapshots. Children are love treasures, don't be afraid to show it. Hold on to them tight, they're gone before you know it. Now here I am alone, no one to blame but myself, with some little pictures gathering dust on my shelf. Little pictures in their frames, they recall the years. Little pictures just for me hang on my fridge door. I miss those little pictures that aren't with me anymore. It really ain't so sweet when love has to part, keeping little pictures so deep in your heart. Things can happen quickly, life can be unkind, leaving only little pictures framed within the mind. Time can be a criminal, we're the victims of the theft, when just those little pictures is all that we have left. Now I did another song, and if any of you all have ever been divorced and then kind of moved on to someone else, and you might be able to relate to it. It's called I Called Her By Your Name. And it's performed by Jody Piles. It's not me singing now, y'all need to understand that because I can't carry a tune in a basket. Oh, by the way, y'all like these?
I got some just like it.
Well, I noticed some of you took your shoes off and it kind of put some lyrics in my mind. Way down yonder in the land of cotton, my feet stink, but y'all's are rotten. But this is Dirty Piles, Nashville, Tennessee, performing this song that I wrote. And I'll play that for you, and I'll do one last poem, and I'll be done. You might take it just a second to cue up here. Dirty's open for Martina McBride and Gretchen Wilson's on the way. Here we go.
Time we spent together The signs look into your eyes. They call you by her name.
Wow, I really hope that gets to be a hit someday. I'm going to finish up, and maybe some of you writers can relate to this. This is kind of my ode to writer's block, and I call it anti-poem. I don't feel like writing poems today. I have nothing profound or deep to say. There's nothing inspiring or wise to tell in a stanza, sonnet, or villanelle. Weary of trying to fit hand in glove some words of wisdom, whimsy, pain, or love. To waste the hours of the day and the night, I don't want to have to take the time to write. There's no lofty ideals to be inscribed, no metered images to be described, to give substance to parts of a dream, no word usage for clever rhyming scheme. With blank or free verse infatuation, no concern for proper punctuation. There's simply no care for iambs to mount, no interest in the syllable count. Sometimes it seems to be so demented, figuring out how words are accented. There's no wish to find the parameter, to write verse in perfect pentameter. To write a poem today is too hard. I'll simply have to delay. I'm no bard. I'm not going to shed one single tear. After all, everyone can be Shakespeare. Though I've studied poetry until I knew it, I refuse to write, not going to do it. I loathe the idea of taking the time to contort verses in order to rhyme. Now, I've read some great poets just to know them, but today, I just don't want to write a poem.